Hello once again. This is Preacher Man Piper, Doc Hatfield, coming to you again with another story. Back in the early 80s, a doctor came to me and he told me, he said, I know the problem with your ulcers in your mouth and throat, and said, I can fix it for you. And I said, you can? He said, yes. He said, you have a constant infection in your gums, and if we could take care of that infection, which has not ever been able to be taken care of, you would no longer have the ulcers in your mouth. That's what's causing them. I said, well, how do you know? He said, well, there's a lot of reasons. And he said, if you want me to go into them, I will. But just to suffice, you would be able to stop smoking your pipe. You would never have to worry about the ulcers ever again. And I said, well, I'm all for that. I said, I'm always interested in a way to get rid of them. And he said, well, what we would have to do, he said, now it's radical, but he said, I'm just telling you the truth. If we pulled all your teeth, we could get rid of the infection, but you'll have to wear false teeth the rest of your life. I said, man alive, are you serious? He said, yes, I am. He said, now the way that we would do this is not normal, but what we would do, we would pull your teeth and immediately put in your false teeth. So you would go to sleep with your teeth and wake up with your false teeth. And I said, well, if you really are serious about this and you can really assure me that this will take care of it, I would be willing to do it. Well, needless to say, he assured me of that. And then he turned around and brought me in, and they put me to sleep, and they pulled all my teeth. And when I woke up, I had false teeth. Now, I felt like I had a boulder in my mouth. And so he told me, he said, it'll take you a couple of weeks to get over this feeling, and said then everything will seem natural to you. Well, it took more than a couple of weeks. It took probably a month. But I finally did get used to them. And so I quit smoking my pipe. Well, I had to go out and do a church service. And so I went out to do this church service, and they called me up and said, for me to preach. And so I got up to preach, and I'm up there preaching, and I'm just, I leaned over the pulpit, just leaned over the pulpit. And when I did, all of a sudden my top teeth just flew right right out of my mouth, and I reached up in my hand and grabbed them, shoved them back in, and didn't miss a beat. That whole place roared. And I finally finished the service, and so after the service, everybody was just telling me how they couldn't believe how I reached out and grabbed them and just shoved them back in my mouth and just kept right on going as if nothing ever happened. And everybody just had so much fun out of that. And so I thought, well, I said, I think this is going to work, and I'm just pleased as can be that I won't have to worry about ulcers anymore. Well, I went about a month, and one day I felt some pain in my mouth. I thought, I wonder what's going on. Well, I took my teeth out. I mean, because I can take my teeth out. So I took my teeth out, and I looked in the mirror, and I had some ulcers. I immediately called that doctor. I said, I thought you told me if I took that I did this, that I would get rid of the ulcers. He said, well, it worked, didn't it? I said, no, I've got ulcers. He said, well, you won't have very many. And he said, it's probably going to have to work out of you, so just go along with it. Well, 3 days later, I had a mouthful of ulcers. My tongue was covered. My lips were covered. My throat was covered. I picked up my pipe. And then about 4 or 5 days later, I didn't have the ulcers anymore. And so then I laid the pipe down again, and I thought, well, maybe he's right. So I waited about a month, and all of a sudden, here come the ulcers again. Well, I didn't wait that time. I picked up my pipe right then. And so then after I got rid of them again, I turned around. I laid my pipe down. And in about a month, here they come again. Well, I found out that I'd done all of this for nothing. So from a very young age, I mean, I wasn't very young. I was in my mid-30s, I guess, when all this took place. And I realized that I was going to have to smoke my pipe the rest of my life. I didn't mind smoking a pipe because I enjoyed the pipe. I enjoyed smoking. I enjoyed the picking out a pipe, the picking out the tobacco, loading the pipe, smoking the pipe, cleaning the pipe, taking care of the pipes. I enjoyed all of that. And so I found out real soon that I was going to have to smoke my pipe the rest of my life. And I also made the decision, the next time some idiot comes along and tells me, oh, I know how to fix that, I'm going to say, get the heck out of here and don't come back. So that's my story of the flying teeth. And I'm not going to change it, not one bit. And years later, I met someone that was a doctor, and I told him what had happened. And he said, well, what's that doctor's name? Well, I couldn't even remember his name. And I said, why do you want to know? He said, he don't need to be a doctor. He shouldn't have done that to you. He said, I don't care what kind of an infection you've got or where you've got it, it can be taken care of. And he said he was wrong in doing that, very wrong in doing it. I said, well, it's done, it's over. I mean, it's been years. And so we had a good laugh over that. And I've been living like this the rest of my life. And so that's the gist of the story. But I thought you'd get a kick out of hearing that. And I just wanted to say one thing. I have another channel. Oh, you didn't know that, did you? Yeah. It's called Dr. Piano Man. I've been called Piano Man for many years because of all the concerts and the playing I've done. And so I'm a doctor of theology, so I just put on there Doctor of Piano Man. And so nobody knows about that channel because I've never used that channel, you know, like watching YouTube videos and commenting and things like that. So nobody knows about the channel because I've never used it. But anyway, I said all that to say this. I answer questions for a lot of people. And so they wanted to see me because they never saw me. They just send me emails. And so I made a devotion on that channel, and I'm fixing to, and probably by the time I get this up, I will have another devotion on there. And then I'm going to put, I'm from time to time, I'm going to put a devotion up, and I'm going to put up some teachings that will help people to understand things that they hear and they don't understand what they heard, and so to help people and to be a blessing to people, I'm going to do that. So anyway, I will put the link to that down in the bucket so that if you want to, you can go see it. Please don't think I expect you to do that, but I just thought if some of you wanted to see it, you could see it. So until I see you again, I pray the good Lord will shower his grace on you. He'll supply your every need. He'll take care of every circumstance in your life. So till then, take care of yourself, watch over yourself, enjoy your pipe, and enjoy your tobacco. Bye-bye.